lot.
So one last thing I want to talk about, and then we can end this podcast. I'm going to talk about, and this is not a joke for those of you that are watching. This is one of the most traumatic things that has happened to me that has to do with discipline. Serious story time. So it was eighth grade, and it was the very last day of school. And there was this guy, and he was like one of those wannabe hicks, right? And so he was kind of like talking shit and talking all this and that and whatever. And actually, a couple of weeks before then, um, we had all talked about like jumping this guy, like inviting him over to hang out and then just beating the shit out of him. Well, my mom went through my phone and saw these texts and was like, "You're not going to like jump this kid. That's not going to happen." And I was like, "Okay, okay, whatever."
We're gonna jump this game.
Fast forward to the last day of school. It's literally the last day of eighth grade, right? Why? Our high school had this thing where you would spend either the first half at Rascals and then the second half outside in the back of the school, and then you would switch. So it was like half of the school did this first, that second, the other half did this second, that first. Anyways, we were the half that went to Rascals first. So we go to Rascals, have a hell of a time, come back to the school. They have like pizza, soda, people are sitting in the cafeteria, people are sitting outside. There's like an hour and a half left until summer vacation before high school. And I'm going to name drop these people because this is so traumatic. This literally fucked my life. And this man over here thinks it's funny. So the dude's name was Will.
Yep.
And he was kind of like starting shit like he always was. And I was just like, whatever. I don't care. It's the last day of school. My parents told me we can't jump this guy, so it's whatever. Well, I'm hanging out with a dude named Zach, a dude named Madison, a dude named Marcus, and Will is out there too. And we're all just standing around talking. We don't want Will over there, but Will is butting into our conversations. I think Malachi was over there too, a couple of other people.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, we're going to fuck with Will. So they're like dancing in front of him, laughing really loudly, trying to like piss him off, telling him that we're having like stupid stuff like, oh, we're having more fun than you, right? Zach comes up to me and he's like, we should hit this boy. You know what I'm saying? We should beat the shit out this kid. That's not how he said it, but he's like, you should fight this guy. I'm like, no. I'm not going to fight him. That's not going to happen. Well, me being the shithead that I am, I'm not going to fight you, but I'm going to annoy the shit out of you. So I followed him. We eventually were like, fuck off, go somewhere else. And he started walking around, and then we were following him and mocking him. And it was everybody. It wasn't just me. It was me. I think Marcus was a part of it too. Zach and Madison. Well, finally, we kind of like corner him. He's up against a brick wall. And we're all just like talking shit, like, fuck you, pussy, you're not gonna do stuff, ha ha ha, whatever. Well, he turns around to go like walk like towards these bathrooms. I think they were bathrooms towards the back. And Madison pushes me. What do you do when you're getting pushed? You try to catch yourself, right? I fell into Will. He hits his chest on the corner of the brick wall. I'm like, whoa. I turn around and look at Madison and I'm like, what the hell did you push me for? I turn back around. Will's facing towards me. Bop! Punches me right in my nose. I'm like, oh shit. That's probably not what I said. I don't know what I said. I don't remember. I got punched in my goddamn nose. I was like, this hurts. Well, now I'm in fight mode. Now I'm like, hey, my parents told me don't throw the first punch, but if they throw the first punch, you can fucking destroy them. So I'm ready to swing, right? Next thing I know, I'm fucking being detained, right? Hands are held behind my back. None other than Zach. Zach Hackney's holding me. I just dropped his last name. I don't give a shit. He's holding my hands behind my back.
Not his last name
Then,
anymore.
then I hear, Mr. Harrison, Mr. Harrison. Was that his name? Helgeson, that's what it was. Mr. Helgeson. Helgeson runs over there, splits us up. I didn't even get to land a punch on this kid. I'm being detained. I get thrown into the principal's office. Principal, everything is looking good so far. I've not thrown a punch. So principal asks me, okay, give me a witness and write down what happened. So I'm like, okay, well, my witness is my good friend Marcus. I'm going to tell you what happened. I said we were following him around. I got pushed into him. He hit me. I was detained. That's the story. I'm sitting in this principal's office for like 20 minutes by myself. Like, he literally left me alone in his own office. Principal comes back in and he goes, "You're a liar." Slams papers down on the table. And I was like, huh? I'm a liar? And he's like, "You've not said one single correct thing to me." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He goes and hands me the witness statements, which I don't even think he was supposed to do. I don't think you're supposed to show the person what everybody else said. So I read a witness statement from Will and his witness, who was Zach, and then I read my witness's statement, Marcus. What do all three of their statements say?
Listen, I don't even remember me writing this.
All three of them say that I was that I was dry humping him, grinding on him, I pushed him into the wall, and that I started the fight.
I don't remember writing this.
So what happens?
Sure, I was your witness.
You 100% were my witness.
You sure it wasn't Zach and Malachi was Will's witness?
No, it was you, me, Will, and Zach.
I'm really getting called back there.
Because, and I'll get to that in a second. Okay? I'll get to my proof in a second. So everything is still like not good for me right now. He's like, "I'm calling your parents, da 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 da." So my mom and my dad come. I'm on the phone with her, right? And I'm like, "Hey," well, the principal talks to her, and then he hands me the phone, and I talk to her, and I ask her, I'm like, "Are you coming, or is it Dad?" And she's like, "Your dad's coming from work." And my heart sank, and I was like, I'm fucked. So they get there, and the principal tells my parents what happened, and for like a slight moment, they almost dropped like the charges, if you will. They almost were like, "You know what, it's the last day of school, you know, shit happens." Almost. Do you know what my mom said? I don't know if I've even told you this part, Marcus. My mom said, "Will, that name sounds familiar. Is that the kid that you guys were going to jump a week or so ago?"
Your mom sold you out, bro?
My mother said that.
Your mom sold you out?
So the principal's like, "Oh, really? So this was premeditated. Da 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 da." I don't know the exact words. Long story short, everybody's already gone at this point in time. I'm the only person left. So I'm like walking to my locker. Well, first of all, my dad in the principal's office was like, "You're going to be grounded the entire summer. I'm taking every fucking thing out of your room." Like, this dude was cussing in the principal's office. I started bawling and crying. I'm walking to my locker, and since I'm like TikToked, I had like a math tutor, and the math tutor was like, "Oh, Dallas, what are you still doing here?" And I just looked at her and I was like, "I fucked up." It was like crying. And she's like, "What's wrong?" I grabbed my stuff out of my locker and left. So that's kind of traumatic, right? You know, whatever. You want to know why it's super traumatic? My best friend at the time, Stefan. Where was Stefan? Oh,
He's moving.
Stefan is moving in the summer. There's 2 weeks until he moves to like somewhere up north. I begged and pleaded my dad to let me like at least like spend like a day or the first week or two or whatever with him, and my dad says no. So I was grounded literally the entire summer, as well as being expelled the first 3 days of freshman year. Now, here is my proof that it was you and Zach Hackney, okay? Order in the court. My parents are out in the garage because I don't think they were still together at this time. They were not. No. I don't remember. They might have just gotten a divorce or almost, I don't know. Anyways, my mom and dad are both in the garage. And my dad comes in my room. Cause you guys were like, did you guys knock on the front door or were you like walk up to them when they're in the garage?
We knocked on the front door.
Okay. My dad tells me that 2 of my friends are here to see me. And it's none other than the 2 people that lied. Marcus and Zach.
I still stand by the fact when I wrote the witness statement, all I wrote, this is what I remember. All I wrote, in fact, I might have wrote like whatever they said. Like I literally wrote whatever they said, probably true. Because I didn't think that they would say that. I do not remember anything about dry humping.
And that
I swear to God.
traumatized me because at the time my dad was like anti-gay.
And he thought you were gay.
And he thought I was gay. He thought I was out here dry humping dudes. And I like felt like I had to prove to him that I was like not gay.
Leave fucking porn open up on.
So so my dad being super strict, I it's not like an over exaggeration like okay, you get like the first 2 weeks to hang out with your friend, or okay, you're ungrounded the last, like the worst thing you could do is like the last week of summer vacation you can have to yourself. No. The entire summer vacation stuck in my room, no video games, no friends, no flip phone that I fucking had, no iPod. You know what I did all day? I didn't have my fucking TV. Do you know what I did? I read books. Me of all people, I read fucking books. Okay?
Hey, that's pretty fun actually. I like reading books.
You know Aragon?
Yeah.
Read that entire thing the summer. I came out of my room to eat, and at one point in time I actually came out of my room and watched my mom watch TV. Like I kind of like opened up my door and would watch TV from my room, and got away with it like a couple of times for like 20 or 30 minutes at a time before she was like, you need to go back in your room before your father sees you. And I'm just like, you're a boss too. You can tell him that it's okay. But that honestly, like, not memeing, that was probably the most traumatic thing that ever happened to me. Because so that freshman year, when I got my phone back, I got my phone back a week before the summer was over. But it wasn't like a smartphone. We didn't have smartphones back then, and I didn't have an iPod just yet. So it's not like I could get on Facebook. I had phone numbers that I could text. So I tried texting Stefan, right? My best friend. He changed numbers. So I'm sitting here panicking going, I just lost my best friend. I have no way of contacting him. I shit you not. The reason we found each other, not because of Facebook, it was Skype. This man looked up my RuneScape name that I had as my Skype name, and he messaged me. And I was like, what? He's like, hey, is this Dallas? And I was like, who is this? Oh, this is Stefan. And we fucking connected again. And I was like, there's no way that this, because think about it, right?
It had a happy ending. That's what I'm thinking about.
If he would not have guessed my Skype, this man doesn't use Facebook. The only reason he has a Facebook is because of us in fucking 2017. I would have never seen this man again. Never.